How we doing, folks? Rich Van Tassel with you. Today is Saturday, April 15th, 2017. Of course, the NBA playoffs start today. We already gave you the previews of the series. Wanted to do a player focus for this one, playoff edition. And we're looking at Blake Griffin for this one. It's part of a bigger storyline with the entire Los Angeles Clippers, where they go this season, what's gonna, in the playoffs this season, how that will affect next season. Of course, Blake Griffin is going to be a free agent at the end of the year. He was very impressive in the month of April, over 23 points, just shy of 24. His season average was just under 22. His shooting percentage for the month of April was .575, very impressive there, considering he only shot 49% from the floor for the entire season. Those numbers were definitely buoyed up the way he finished the year. And Blake Griffin is going to be important for the entire run that the Clippers do or do not do this postseason. Of course, what happens, I would think anything less than a conference championship appearance, this team's going to get broken up. They could even make the conference championship and do fairly well, and I still think the team would be broken up. It's really title or bust. As I've said before with the Clippers, I think they have a shot to do it because I think they have the personnel as far as the firepower, but as it's been expected with the Clippers, it's just what do we expect and what's going to come from this team's character, which has certainly been in question for a few years now. Obviously, Chris Paul has a lot to do with it, but Blake Griffin is really the guy who I think can carry the team. I don't look at Chris Paul as being that sort of guy. Of course, you have Jamal Crawford off the bench. He can put up points as well. But really, when it comes down to it, and especially against a Utah team that's very good defensively, Blake Griffin is going to have to get points. Now, will they put Rudy Gobert on him if he gets hot? That's something you have to look at throughout this entire series. He's probably going to have Derek Favors on him a lot with Utah. So it's interesting how they're going to mark up. Favors is a very athletic guy. Rudy Gobert is athletic as well, don't get me wrong. But as far as lateral quickness, I don't think Gobert, just because of a man of his size, would be able to keep up with a Blake Griffin, keep him in front of him. But certainly he can help and at times bother him with his size and strength and length. So if it's Derek Favors, he's the guy who I think can, do it more laterally, be on him at times. Favors, similar body type. He's 6'10", 265. Blake Griffin's 6'10", I believe 270 is what Blake Griffin was in at. So very close in that regard. Both guys can jump very well, have the athletic ability. So Blake Griffin is going to have to exploit that matchup, and he frankly has to be better than Derek Favors every time they go against each other. If he struggles with Gobert, that's one thing. Gobert, my pick for Defensive Player of the Year, has anchored that very good defensive team of the Utah Jazz. Yeah, Blake Griffin's only 251, so he weighs a little less than Derek Favors. So Favors, surprisingly is bigger than Blake Griffin as far as weight-wise, and that's interesting because Favors is a very athletic guy, a guy who can move quickly. As we said, Utah is a very good defensive team. They've given up the least amount of points in the NBA, so where are the Clippers going to get their offense from when things break down? Chris Paul should be able to take advantage of his offensive matchups at times, but even that, even if he has whoever, Exum or whoever you put on him, Shelvin Mack off the bench, if Gordon Hayward draws those responsibilities, they can pressure Chris Paul and force him to drive and force him into the mess of trees with Gobert and Derek Favors. Blake Griffin is really the best one-on-one matchup. Of course, DeAndre Jordan, you don't expect the offense from as far as individual offense, one-on-one play. He gets a lot of putbacks, a lot of dunks in that regard. When Crawford's in the game, as we said, he can light it up, but he comes in off the bench. Blake Griffin has to be the go-to guy in this series especially. And as we said, Blake Griffin will be a free agent at the end of the year. A big playoff run for him will certainly boost whatever stock he has. He's going to get paid max dollars regardless. Al Horford got paid max dollars, and Blake Griffin is the better player than Al Horford is. So certainly, regardless of what happens, he's going to get max dollars. But he can really increase his stock. Teams will be looking at him a lot more I'd say it's more not necessarily the dollars, but a choice of where he gets to go, depending on where he plays. Maybe teams that wouldn't consider taking a chance on Blake Griffin will take a chance on him with a good playoff run. But getting through the Utah Jazz with that good defense, they're going to have to put a lot in on Blake Griffin. He's going to have to get that shooting percentage and keep it high where it is. Doesn't have to be 575. 49 for the season isn't bad, but as we said, he's over 50% for his career, and he had such a strong April. His last 10 games were very good as well. So he really had to have a very good month in that regard just to get his numbers that high. Let's look back and see if that comes up. So, yeah, in April, as we said, 575. March was just under 48%. February, he was over 50%, 48% for January. And December was really where it went down, under 47%. So it's been fairly up and down all season. 49% per November, 46% for October, but you only play 3 games. As we said, 46 for December, January 48. February he was above 50%. Then he dipped a little in March and then took it back up in April. So from March on, or from February on, he's been pretty good right around the end of the All-Star break. So let's keep an eye on that. Of course, his three-point field goal percentage is pretty good for the season. He doesn't shoot that many threes, but he certainly can make them at times. Three-point percentage, 33.6. He's only shooting about 2 per game, though. So, that's not even making 1 per game. It's just based on the average. He makes less than 1 per game, as we said. But you're above 33%. That's the metric total that equals 50% shooting wise. So, will he shoot the 3 more? I don't know. Utah, you'd like to see him maybe do that to keep, maybe draw out favors, maybe draw out Gobert if he's on him or on him in a switch, and free up some driving lanes for the Chris Pauls of the world. Mabute while he's in the game, Jamal Crawford when he's in the game. So we have to keep an eye on that. But a lot riding on it for the Clippers. I think Blake Griffin, if he can, really step his game up, the Clippers may have a chance to make some noise in this postseason. As we said, he's going to be a free agent, so certainly it's advantageous for him personally and selfishly. I'm not saying Blake Griffin's selfish, but just as a selfish thing that he could do would help him out and help the team as well. And really, last run for the Clippers time. So we'll see what Blake Griffin brings to the table and how he can move this team forward. All right, so we'll do as many just immediate recaps of the playoff games as we can. Saturday, today, I'm not really going to be doing much, so we'll do those when they go final as we did last season. Tomorrow, Easter, going to be a little tougher, but as much as we can throughout the playoffs, we will do that the same as we did last year. Remember, we appreciate all subscriptions as well, and we'll see you when some of the games go final. Thank you so much.